You remember that stat I hit you with? The average farmer's market vendor bleeds almost $2,000 a year from clunky payment junk and missed sales. Yeah? That number still makes my stomach turn. That is a used walk-in cooler. That is 2 months of chicken feed. That is a weekend off where you do not have to wake up at 4 a.m. to bake. And most of that cash just evaporates because we are using tools built for downtown bistros, not for folks selling garlic braids out of the back of a Subaru. I am not here to sell you a course. I am not here to act like I am some coder who wears socks with sandals and drinks kombucha by the gallon. I am just a homesteader who got sick of losing money and decided to get scrappy. If you run a micro homestead business, you already know how to do hard things. You have birthed goats, you have fixed a fence in the rain, you can learn to click some buttons and make a POS that actually works for you. Let me break this down even more because the first round was just the warm-up. We are going deep now. Here are 8 things people get absolutely backward about coding your own farmer's market POS system. And if you miss these, you will be back to the cash box crying by July. First, people think coding means starting from zero, like you are in a movie hacking the mainframe. Stop that. You are not building the next Etsy. You are building a glorified calculator that looks nice. I started with a free template I found by searching how to make a button add numbers. I copied it. I pasted it. I changed the word donuts to carrot bunches. Boom. I was 10% done. The internet is full of free code snippets that are just sitting there like zucchini on your neighbor's porch in August. Take them. Use them. Nobody is going to arrest you for using a free shopping cart template for your radish sales. The secret is to steal like an artist and then tweak it until it feels like your farm. You do not need to understand every line. You just need to know which line says $5 and how to change it to $6 when inflation hits again. Second, folks get paralyzed by the idea of inventory. They think they need some big fancy system that tracks SKU numbers and barcodes and warehouse locations. Bro, your warehouse is a cooler in your truck. You do not need a barcode. You need a button that says sold out when you are out of peach jam. My version has a little number next to each product. Every time I hit sell, it drops by 1. You know, when it hits 0, the button turns gray and sad. That is it. That is the whole system. I am not Amazon. I do not need to know which shelf in which fulfillment center my jam is on. I need to know if I should tell the next customer, sorry, we are out, but I have plum left. Keep it dumb. Keep it simple. Your future market self at 11 a.m. with a line of people will kiss you for it. Third, people think they need real-time cloud sync and dashboards and charts. No, you do not. You need to know how much money's in your pocket before you pack up. My POS saves everything to the device. Then at night, when I am finally sitting down with a sore back and a cold dinner, it sends the day's sales to a Google sheet. That sheet is my dashboard. It is not pretty. It has no pie charts, but I can see that I sold 42 loaves of bread and 18 bucks of basil. That tells me what to bake on Thursday. Do not build a spaceship to cross the street. Build a wagon, wagons work, wagons haul stuff. Fourth, everybody forgets about the end-of-day routine. With a cash box, you just count the cash and hope it matches your chicken scratch notes. With your own POS, you need a closeout button. Mine is big and red and says, done for the day, thank God. When I hit it, the system adds up cash sales and card sales and barter. It tells me how much cash should be in my little bank bag. If the number's off, I know I either gave wrong change or I gave my kid a free cookie again. That closeout screen saved my marriage because now I am not doing math at 9 p.m. while my spouse is trying to watch a show. I hit the button, I count the drawer, I go to bed. Fifth, people do not plan for the chaos of market. Your code has to be faster than a customer who is trying to pay while holding a toddler and a dog leash. That means big buttons, like huge, thumb-sized, because you will be using it with dirty hands or gloves on. No tiny text, no drop-down menus. I made the mistake of using a drop-down for product size once. I almost threw the whole tablet in the livestock tank. Now every product and size gets its own button. Sourdough, small. Sourdough, large. Yes, it looks like a lot of buttons, but I can tap it without looking. Speed matters. If your system is slower than making change from a cash box, you built it wrong. Sixth, folks ignore refunds and mistakes. You will hit the wrong button. You will charge someone for a tomato when they bought lettuce. It happens. You need an oops button. Mine says undo last sale, and it asks, are you sure? Because I have fat fingers. If you do not build an undo, you will be stuck trying to do math to fix it, and you will mess up your whole day's totals. Also, you need a way to do a full refund when someone brings back a jar that did not seal. Do not make it complicated. My refund screen is just a negative sale. I pick the product. I hit refund. It subtracts it from the day. Done. No manager key required. You are the manager. Seventh, people forget about taxes and it bites them. I am not your accountant, but I know I have to collect sales tax and my state is picky about it, so my POS has a little toggle for taxable. Most of my food is not taxed, but my goat milk soap is. So when I add a product, I check a box. If it needs tax, the system does the math. At the end of the day, it tells me I collected $14.62 in sales tax. That number goes in an envelope. No more guessing in January. If you ignore this, you will be writing a sad check later. Build it in from day one, even if it is ugly. Eighth, the biggest mistake is building it alone in a vacuum. Talk to other vendors. My buddy who sells mushrooms saw my setup and said, hey, can you add a button for half pound and full pound? I did. Then he bought me lunch. Another friend who sells eggs wanted a dozen and half dozen toggle. Done. Your POS should grow with you, and the cool part is when you control the code, you can change it at 6 a.m. before market. Try calling Square Support at 6 a.m. I will wait. When you own it, you can fix it. When you rent it, you are stuck. Now, let me tell you why this matters on a gut level. This is the personal stake part. My first year doing markets, I was proud. I was living the dream. I had a little tent and a banner my kid painted, but I was also a mess behind the scenes. I would get home and my pockets would be full of wadded up ones and a few fives and some receipts from people who wanted to Venmo me, but I forgot to write it down. I was making money, but I had no idea how much, and I was working my tail off and still felt broke. Then my dog ate a notebook. True story. Half my July sales were in that notebook. I had to guess. I felt like a fraud. That winter, I promised myself I would never fly blind again. Learning a little code was way less painful than telling the tax guy I think I made about $5,000, but my dog ate the proof. Think of your POS like your fence. You would not run livestock without a fence. You would not plant a garden without a way to keep the deer out. Your money is your livestock. Your sales are your crops. You need a fence around it. The cash box is like a fence made of twine. It works until it does not. A corporate POS is like hiring a fence company that charges you every month and shows up late. Coding your own is like building the fence yourself with your own posts and your own wire. It might not be straight. The neighbors might laugh, but it keeps your cows in. And you can fix it when a post rots. I know some of you are thinking this sounds hard. It is, kinda. But so is canning 80 pounds of tomatoes in August. So is fixing a tractor with a YouTube video and a prayer. You already do hard things. This is just a different kind of hard. And the payoff is huge. You get data, you get confidence, you get to stop feeling like you are just playing store. You get to walk into market knowing you are running a real business. And look, I am not saying everybody has to do this. If you love your current setup and it works, keep it. But if you are tired of fees, if you are tired of guessing, if you are tired of feeling like a passenger in your own business, then maybe it is time to build your own dashboard, even if it is held together with digital duct tape. So, here is where I leave you. We talked about why the big systems fail us. We talked about 8 mistakes to avoid. We talked about why it matters when your dog eats your homework. Now, I want to hear from you. So here's the question that I know is going to start a fight in Theodore AD. comments, and I am here for it, for a real American homestead business at the farmer's market. Is coding your own POS system the ultimate act of independence, or is it just a waste of time that takes you away from the dirt and the animals and the actual work that matters? Should we all be learning a little code to take control of our money, or should we pay the tech companies and stay in our lane growing food and making stuff? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you built one better. Tell me you tried and it was a disaster. I want the savage stories. I want the wholesome wins. I want the unhinged takes. This is micro homestead business, and we do not gatekeep the good stuff. Drop your take below and let the debate begin.